Hello to all you guys out there in YouTube land. Yes, it's me, DR, coming to you guerrilla style. I feel like I'm doing like pirate radio station the way I'm doing these videos at the moment. So yeah, I've gone right away back in time, and I hope you guys like what I'm doing at the moment. But anyway, one of the things that was raised that raised my attention was something that I read about recently over the last couple of days, and it's basically a story about Leo Igwe. I hope I pronounced that right. He's a Nigerian atheist who's also a contributor to things like Freethinker, the British Humanitarian Society, big friend of theirs, and also he's the executive secretary of the Nigerian Humanist Movement. And he was basically attacked on the 30th of July 2009 during a raid by 150 to about 200 members of a Christian church called the Liberty Foundation's Gospel Ministry. Now, this church is run by a woman by the name of Helen Ukapabio. Mrs. Ukapabio founded the Liberty Foundation Gospel Ministry in about 2009 with the aim of spreading her often literal interpretations of the Holy Bible to the people of West Africa. The belief most often associated with Mrs. Ukapabio and her organisation is the claim that Satan has the ability to manifest himself in the bodies of children by demonic possessions and make them become his servants in the form of witches and wizards. The Liberty Foundation Gospel Ministries organised a raid on the Child Rights and Witchcraft conference set up by Mr. Igwe in Calabar, which is located in the southern half of Nigeria. The conference had been organised by the Nigerian Humanist Movement and the UK charity Stepping Stones Nigeria in response to the widespread abandonment, torture and killing of children in Akwa Ibom and Cross River State due to the belief in child witches. As the anti-witch conference began around 10:30 am, the religious protesters dressed in orange raided the venue and began loudly protesting. The extremists were carrying a number of banners with slogans such as, "This protest is organised by the Akwa Ibom state government," "We give freedom to the witches," and "Stepping Stones is not a registered organisation." Among the other delegates attacked, Leo Igwe had his glasses smashed and his bag and phone and camera stolen by the mob, who were alternatively singing and aggressively disrupting the conference. After an hour and a half, the police turned up and dispersed the mob. One person was arrested. Speaking after the event, Leo said, "The conference was a peaceful meeting for people to openly debate what could be done to prevent the abuse of child rights linked to the belief in witchcraft." This attack by Helen Ukapabio supporters once again highlights the depravity of this so-called woman of God. Such false prophets should be immediately arrested and prosecuted under the Child Rights Act. A petition has been set up to help make Helen Ukapabio face justice. I'll post the details in the sidebar for anyone who's interested in checking out this petition, and also post a full link and links to the main article for anyone who's interested in reading this.
This witchcraft thing is based on superstition. It doesn't exist, but children are losing their lives because of it. Adults, their houses are being burned. Families are being destroyed because of it. So our people needed to be educated on the stupidity of the system.
In summary, in my opinion about this is terrible. When you live in a world where Christian organisations band together and actually organise raids against, peaceful conventions, then what's the world coming to? I mean, for me, it beggars belief that we still live in a society and a world where Christian organisations basically raid conventions, peaceful conventions. And the problem, as I see it, is this doesn't seem to be isolated incidents. It seems to be becoming more regular. You look at an example in America and the United States, where you've got pro-life fundamentalists going after doctors who perform abortions. And now you look in Nigeria, you've got organisations going after peaceful conventions that are there promoting children's rights and the fact that children aren't possessed by demons. You know, anyone who thinks we've left the Dark Ages, reading this article really should put some perspective on this whole thing, and realise that there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of places that still have views that, you know, you could really point back to, you know, 1 BC. I mean, demons in children? People honestly believe that demons in children? Like, how crazy is that? It beggars belief when I read this, because I, for one, was fully admit that I wasn't as aware of the situation in Nigeria, or not as aware as I should have been. And the fact that, you know, we can all sit in the Western world and say, hey, we've come a long way. There are areas of the world where we haven't, and these areas need our help and need us to be aware of what's going on there. We need to get that information out to people, and hopefully, you know, we will start doing that and being more aware of what's happening in other countries. You know, people say, what can we do about it? I think that's the process of making people aware that they're not alone, and that we do understand their plight. Go some way. Yes, it doesn't help, and I'm not saying it's a magic wand and I'm waving a magic wand, pardon the pun, but I think that the more we highlight these things, the more we get this information out there to people, the more people are aware of what the potential negative aspects are of any dogma that allows people to have beliefs from past eras that as a human race we know we've outgrown. And if you want to hear more of my thoughts on this, check out my blog, and I'll post all the links in the sidebar and all that type of lovely jazz. Anyway, thank you for listening, and as I said, have a safe journey wherever you're heading.